Hey everybody, I'm Joe the AI guy, and this tech talk is about China's new 1 trillion parameter LLM and that they are able to do this with their own chipsets. So these are chips that are developed solely in China using Chinese technology. The first step is that they have announced two new models for China Telecom. The first is its open source. It's called Telechat 2. It's a 115 billion parameter model. That one was trained using entirely China's chips. It's believed to be the Huawei Ascend chips. And then the second model supposedly has over 1 trillion parameters, and that was using tens of thousands of those chips to train the model. A big part of why China is trying to develop these models using their own chips is that about 2 years ago, US began putting export restrictions on the chips. So they have a limited amount that they can purchase in China every year. And then that would cause them to basically run out of resources fairly quickly. But China has the natural resources to develop their own chips. So they're doing that. And this signals a big catch up in the world of chip production for China. They're not going to be as top of the line as NVIDIA, but they're going to be pretty close. And personally, I think that this is a good signal that China has significantly closed the gap in chip production. The fact that they're able to make so many high power chips and so quickly shouldn't particularly be a shock from China's production. But I think in the tech world, they thought that China would be a few years behind. And this brings it, they're probably only a few months behind in terms of production. I know Huawei has also begun sending out some of its newer chips for people to sample in order to try and get more customers to do this. They are allowed to sell globally, but there are US-based restrictions on Huawei hardware. So it's not something that will necessarily penetrate the US market, but it's, once it becomes more powerful than what's available here, you will start to see more of a shift to that hardware. Personally, for now, I'm going to take all this news about the 1 trillion model with a grain of salt until it can actually be open sourced. It's really hard for anyone to evaluate how well it's actually performing. And then it did say that this was a proprietary model. So it's unlikely that this would be open sourced anytime soon. They'll likely have versions of it that will be probably about a year or so down the line. Right now in the US, we're seeing a few models that are in that 100 billion parameter range, but to see one with 1 trillion, just the cost alone to train that model is pretty significant. I think it will be a little bit of time before we see one here in the US that has that many parameters.
Okay, that's all there is to it. I'm Joe the Data Guy, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. And if you have any questions about how to build AI tools and models for small businesses, drop them in the comments below. I'll be there to help you out. Until then, see you next time.